Let's be honest. Boredom is one of the most avoided emotions of our time. We treat it like a disease, something to be cured instantly with a scroll, a tap, or a quick distraction. But what if boredom isn't a curse? What if it's a hidden invitation? A signal from your brain asking you to pay attention to something deeper? We've built a world that's terrified of silence. The moment we feel even a second of emptiness, we rush to fill it. Waiting in line? Check your phone. Sitting alone? Open YouTube. Feeling restless? Play music? Open an app. Do anything, just don't be bored. But here's the paradox. In avoiding boredom, we've also avoided ourselves. Psychologically, boredom is not the absence of stimulation. It's the absence of meaning. When your mind says, I'm bored, it's not asking for entertainment. It's asking for purpose. Your brain is saying, this moment doesn't matter. Give me one that does. But instead of listening, we drown it out with cheap dopamine hits. Endless scrolls, reels, and notifications that give us the illusion of engagement without the depth of fulfillment. Let's look at the science. Studies in neuroscience show that when we're bored, a part of the brain called the default mode network becomes active. It's the same network that lights up when you're daydreaming, reflecting, or imagining the future. This is the system that helps you form creative ideas, understand your emotions, and connect past experiences to future goals. In other words, boredom is the birthplace of insight. The brain uses boredom as a reset button, a way to clear the mental noise and create space for deeper thought. But we rarely give it the chance. We treat boredom like a bug to be fixed, not a feature to be explored. Imagine if Beethoven had scrolled through TikTok instead of sitting alone with his thoughts. Imagine if Einstein had filled every quiet moment with Netflix instead of letting his mind wander. Innovation, creativity, and self-understanding all begin in moments of stillness. There's a fascinating study from the University of Central Lancashire. Researchers asked one group of people to perform a boring task, copying numbers from a phone book. Then they asked another group to skip the task. Afterward, both groups were told to come up with creative uses for a plastic cup. The group that experienced boredom first came up with significantly more creative ideas. Why? Because boredom forced their minds to stretch, to find novelty, to create meaning. That's what boredom does. It pushes the mind to search for depth when the surface feels empty. But instead of letting boredom do its job, we interrupt the process with instant stimulation. And that's dangerous, not just for creativity, but for emotional resilience. Because boredom also teaches patience. When you allow yourself to sit in stillness, you're teaching your brain that not every uncomfortable moment needs to be escaped. You're strengthening your tolerance for silence, uncertainty, and even loneliness. Think about it. Most people don't fear boredom. They fear what boredom reveals. The uncomfortable thoughts, the buried emotions, the quiet voice that asks, is this really how you want to live? We avoid boredom because it threatens to expose the truth, but that truth is exactly what we need to hear. Boredom is a mirror. It reflects what's missing in your life, what's been ignored, and what your soul quietly craves. In ancient philosophy, thinkers like Seneca and Aristotle spoke about the importance of leisure not as laziness, but as a sacred space for reflection. Leisure, they said, was where wisdom is born. Today, we've replaced leisure with consumption. We don't sit with our thoughts. We consume other people's. We don't reflect. We react. And that's why so many of us feel busy but empty. There's a line from Blaise Pascal that perfectly captures this. All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. He wrote that in the 1600s, centuries before smartphones. Yet it's more relevant now than ever, because sitting quietly in a room alone feels unbearable to most people today. But that discomfort is exactly the doorway to growth. When you resist the urge to escape boredom, you begin to discover things about yourself that constant stimulation keeps hidden. You start to notice your thoughts, your desires, your fears. You reconnect with your inner world, the one that gets silenced in a world that never stops talking. You realize that silence isn't empty. It's full of answers. Let's be clear. Boredom doesn't mean doing nothing forever. It means giving your mind space to breathe. It means allowing unstructured time in your daytime without goals, without screens, without input. Time where your brain can wander freely. That wandering isn't wasted time. It's when the mind restores itself. So here's the practical takeaway. Start by scheduling boredom into your life. Literally. Create empty zones, 10, 20, or 30 minutes, where you do absolutely nothing. No phone, no music, no distraction. Just sit. Walk without headphones. Wait without scrolling. Observe what happens. At first, your brain will panic. It will itch for stimulation. It will scream, do something. That's your dopamine system craving its next hit. But if you wait a little longer, something amazing happens. The noise quiets. Ideas surface. Emotions process. The mind begins to heal. That's the transformation boredom offers from chaos to clarity. Because boredom isn't the enemy of happiness, it's the pathway to it. It teaches you to find contentment not in constant excitement, but in stillness. It helps you see beauty in simplicity, in a walk, a sunset, a thought. It helps you rediscover the richness of your own mind. So the next time you feel that restless urge to check your phone, to escape the moment, pause. Let the boredom breathe. Instead of running from it, ask, what is this trying to teach me? You might be surprised at the answers that come. Maybe it's telling you to create something. Maybe it's reminding you of something you've neglected. Or maybe it's simply asking you to rest. Whatever it is, listen. Because in the silence between distractions lies the voice of your truest self. And if you can sit with that voice without fear, without noise, without escape, you'll find that boredom isn't emptiness at all. It's awareness. It's peace. It's the beginning of a life that finally feels whole.